Hey guys, welcome to math. Everybody should have this division packet. Sorry, I've got a little bit of cold today. And we've finished this first page. Now we're looking at this page. There are 18 problems. I'd like you to choose 9 today of your choice to solve, and then tomorrow we'll choose the other 9 and we'll finish the whole thing. So let's look at how to solve these problems. Remember that you have already figured out how to solve division problems using this. So if you see 12 divided by 3, you think 3 times what equals 12? And you say, well, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. 3 times 4 equals 12. And you notice there's that cool triangle where 3 times 4 equals 12, 4 times 3 equals 12, 12 divided by 3 equals 4, 12 divided by 4 equals 3. And you can find, just with those 3 numbers, 2 multiplication problems and 2 division problems. And it's the same thing when you have these bigger numbers. It looks intimidating, but you just break it down into smaller problems. And if you know how to do this procedure, boom, you can get it right. And the 3 numbers work in the same exact way. So remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. So I'll just do a problem on here. I'll do a big one. 287 divided by 7, which looks like this, 287 divided by 7. It also looks like this. It's the same thing. Either way, we have to divide 287 divided by 7, or 7 times what equals 287? 7 times what? So we've got to figure that out. So let's figure it out. Okay, so the way we were talking about this is, imagine that there are 7 people, and let's say they all did some work for you. Like, let's say you paid 7 people to build you a fence. And they told you beforehand it costs $287 to do this, to build this fence. And you have to figure out, well, how much am I going to pay each of those people? How much is each person going to make? So they finish the fence and they're all like, all right, time to pay up, Daniel. And I've got 2 $100 bills, 8 $10 bills, 7 $1 bills. And I've got to figure out how much does each person get. So the way you do this is you just look at the first number and you say, okay, that's in the 100 spot, right? Yep. So I've got 2 hundreds, and I've got 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hands out being like, pay up. And I only look down and I only got 2 hundreds. And I think, you know what? Nobody's going to get 100. So I first look at this one and I divide. Can I divide 2 by 7? Not really, because 7 times 1 equals 7. Because you're thinking like 7 times what equals 2? Well, nothing. 7 times, you can't do it. So I put a 0 there. I'm like, sorry guys, nobody's going to get 100 this time. And they're like, darn it, I wanted that $100 bill. So I divided. I couldn't do it, so 0. Nobody gets one. Now I multiply to see how many you gave out. Well, I know how many I gave out. I gave out 0, right? But I have to do it anyway. 0 times 7 is 0. So right underneath it, I write down under the hundreds, how many to give out? 0. Now I subtract to see how many I have left. Well, I already know I'm going to have both of them left. 2 minus 0 is 2. So I still have both hundreds. So like if these were the hundreds, I've still got them. I didn't give them to anybody. I've still got them. But now I bring down, because now I'm talking about my tens. So it's kind of like you just took those 2 hundreds to the bank and you turned them into 20 tens. So now I can bring this down, bring down the 8, and I've got 28 tens. And now the 7 workers like, okay, now I'm going to get some money here. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I've got 28 tens. So by the 10 spot, I'm going to write down how many tens each person get. Well, 7 times what equals 28? So I get out my multiplication table. 7 times what equals 28? Let's see. Oh, there's 28 right there. So I've got my 7, I've got 28, and I look up here, and it's 4. 7 times 4 equals 28, which makes sense because if I count by sevens, it's 1 7, 2 sevens, 3 sevens, 4 sevens. 7, 14, 21, 28. 7 times 4 is 28. So each person gets 4 tens. And then I go, okay, now we're getting some money. 1, 2, 3, 4 tens for you. 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 4 tens. Each person's like, all right, I got 4 tens. $40. So now I multiply. After I write down the number up top, I multiply to see how many did I just give out? What's 4 times 7? We just looked it up. It's 28. So you write it down below it because you need to find out how many you have left. So you subtract. I've got 0 left. I give them all out. Bring down. Bring down the 7. Now we've got 7. What's that spot? Oh, it's the 1 spot. I've got 7 ones. Each person still wants some more money. And I've got 7 ones. So 7 times what equals 7? 7 times 1, of course. And now I see if I have any left over, because sometimes you got like a couple bills left over, so we need to see if we have any bills left over. Well, I multiply, see how many I gave out. 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract, see how many you have left. 7 minus 7, 0. I've got none left. So that means once you've divided up all of your bills, and if you have none left, you're done. Each person just made $41. You're like, thanks for building that cool fence. Each person, you get 0 hundreds, but you get 4 tens and 1 1, so you just got $41. And they're like, yes, $41. I mean, hopefully they're like that. They just made $41. So that's how you do these problems. I'm gonna do one more. If you feel really confident, you can start doing your problems, your math now, but I'm gonna do one more just so we can really see how to do this. So let's see, I'll do, and please, if I do a problem that you see, don't just write down the answer, you need to write down the whole procedure. So if you pause it, you can write down the whole procedure, but I want you to understand what I'm doing. So let's do another one. I'll do, I'm gonna do this one. 6 times what equals 174, or 174 divided by 6 equals what? And it can also look like this. 6 times what equals 174? Anybody have a guess? Well, I know 6 times 10 is 60. So that means 6 times 20 is 120. So it's going to be at least 20. Let me guess. But let's 6 times 30. Well, let's see. 6 times 30. Let's just kind of get an estimate. Boy, look at that. 6 times 3 is 18. And then, oh, got to add the 0 over here. 180. So 6 times 30 is 180. So it's going to be a little bit less than 30 because I'm only talking about 174. You might be able to guess right now just by looking at that what the answer is. But that's a good way to make an estimate. Think about 6 times what would equal a big number like that. So it's going to be about 30. Okay, so you got the 6 workers, right? They came over. What did they do for you this time? This time they fixed your car. Your car broke down. And you had to pay them $174. And now each person has their hand out and they're like, pay up, Daniel. So I have to think, well, how much am I going to give each person? So just like last time, sorry guys, nobody's going to get 100. I've only got $100 bill. I've got 100, 7 tens, and 4 ones. I don't have 600, so I only got 1. So nobody's going to get a $100 bill. Sorry guys. So 0 times 6, because I multiplied to see how many I gave out. Well, I already know I gave out 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract to see how many I have left. How many do I have left? I still have the 1. Bring on down. Now we're talking about the 10s. Moving on to the 10 spot. People are definitely going to get some 10s here. Because guess what? I just took that 100 to the bank, turned into 10 10s. Now I've got 17 10s. So 6 times what equals 17? If you're not sure, you look at your 6's. 6, 12, 18. Oh, you can't go over it. So you know what? Because you can't give out a dollar you don't have or $10 bill you don't have. So you've got to go 6 times what equals as close to 17 as possible without going over it. So 6 times 2 is 12. So another way of thinking that is, sometimes people say, how many times does 6 go into 17? Well, 6, 12, you can't do 18. Only 12, only twice. So each person gets 2 $10 bills. What's 2 times 6? Multiply to see how many you gave out. Well, I just gave out 12. Subtract to see how many you have left. How many do I have left? Oh, I've got 5 left. So you've still got 5 left. But you weren't able to give them out because you've got to give out 1 each person. There's 6 people. Now you bring down. And now you take that 5 10s, those 5 10s to the bank, and get 50 ones. You got 54 ones. How many ones each person get? So 6 times what equals 54? Without going over. How many times does 6 fit into 54? Well, let's see. Oh, there it is right there. It's 9. 6 times 9 equals 54. So each person gets 9 ones. Now I multiply to see how many I gave out. 9 times 6 is 54. Subtract to see how many you have left. And I've got 0 left. So I'm done. I divided up my hundreds. They got 0. Sorry, guys. My 10s, each got 2. Okay, not bad. And my 1s, they each got 9. So each person made $29. Which means 6 times 29 equals 174. Because those numbers just work together like that. So please do 9 problems on your assignment. And if you want to afterwards check, make sure you got the answer right, you just do the multiplication problem. Let's just do that really quickly. 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 7. Yep, did it right.